Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Rave Social podcast. I'm your host, Jaden, and today we have Sarah. I'm going to let Sarah just kind of introduce herself, and then we'll jump into what we're going to talk about today.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sarah. I am a DJ / producer / artist. And recently I've really been, kind of making big jumps in at least the local music industry.
Killing it.
Thank you. I only started DJing last April, so that's only a year and 6 months ago.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's literally wild how much has happened in the last however long that is. But I think that I can attribute a lot of it to social media. And my background before music was all social media, marketing, graphic design, content creation, all the things. I worked in agencies for 3 years, and I've been doing social media professionally for like 7 years. So
Crazy.
it's just interesting how it's all kind of
like played together. And I feel like you've always been, well, we met on social media, which is funny.
Yeah,
now
we met on Lemonade. How wild is that?
That is crazy. I forgot about that because you were at like my boyfriend's show. And we posted about it, and then I was like, wait, I was there.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Literally my boyfriend.
I actually forgot about that.
It's been a while.
Yeah, that's so crazy. But I've followed you for a while now then, since we met. And it's just been crazy to see like your evolution, and like you have always used social media as a tool, like even when you were working in the agencies, like even when you were just doing like freelance, which I think you still are, like design and stuff like that. You've always just used social media so well. So
I am like addicted to it. Like Instagram is my second language.
Yeah, I mean it's like just such a powerful tool, which like you get, and like people that get it,
and people that
don't. But we came up with this idea to do this podcast to really just honestly help like creatives, and specifically like creatives in the music industry, DJs, producers, musicians, artists, whatever you want to call yourself. We don't discriminate.
It all goes together.
Yeah. When Sarah posted a thread, and she said, it was kind of like a spicy opinion, but she said, hot take, but without a social media presence and a strong brand, your music and DJ skills won't take you anywhere. Which is like, she was like, oh. Like it is spicy, but it's also so true. And I actually like have experience with this because I guess he's my fiance now. I don't really know. But he is also a producer and artist, whatever. I think he likes artists.
Yeah.
But I have experience with him like actually getting like opportunities just through social media. Like he has done so much outbound engagement with other artists that when he goes to big shows, like they're DMing each other, like come backstage. Like he is able to connect with these big artists and has even had opportunities to like mix and master for them, which is psychotic.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. All through Instagram.
It's wild.
That's it. So I've had some experience with it, and I'm excited to hear your experience. So, yeah, let's just start from there. What do you feel like when you posted that thread? What were your thoughts behind that? What did you think?
Okay, so while I was literally typing it up, I was like, well, first of all, I was like, let's be problematic today, and then I was like, I know that I want to stir up a little controversy. It's a controversial topic mostly in the DJ world. I don't know if it is in like all of the music world. I'm sure it is a little bit, but in the DJ world, oh my gosh, it's a lot. So I knew I wanted to like
stir the pot.
Yes, I wanted to say it in a way where I was stirring the pot and where it would stir up some conversation. And so like, do I literally believe that word for word, like in my heart and soul? Not exactly 100%. Like, there's so much else that goes into it.
Yeah, I mean, if you like suck but you have a good personality, you're not gonna get anywhere.
Yeah,
like you still have to be good.
Yeah, you have to show up to people's shows. You have to make connections. You have to build friendships. Like, there's so much that goes into it.
Yeah,
but if you have like nothing else, if you don't have the connections and all that, and it's only you and your DJ skills, social media can take you really, really far.
Yeah, like, I think it just can be like so powerful. Like it can be the difference of your career, like not taking off or taking off.
Yeah. And I think that there's also we live in this time where there's what people I think like to call social media DJs. And like while I have built a lot of my, I don't know, career as a DJ on social media, I wouldn't put myself in like that category because I'm using social media entirely to get shows and play bookings. And like playing live is like my real goal.
Yeah.
My goal is not to grow on social just to have like a following on TikTok and Instagram. Because that for me doesn't get me anywhere. That's not my goal. Like I want to play in front of people in real life.
It's just like the tool in which you can get closer to that goal.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that like the reason why it's controversial is because when people started DJing in the 70s, 80s, whatever, obviously there wasn't social media.
No.
There wasn't social media until 14 to 20 years ago.
Yeah. And even with that, like the music industry is completely different. Like there at that time, like when music first started.
In
like
1970s.
Years and years ago. I mean, even like when the big rock bands were coming up and all of that, it was like you just would create a local community and like
it's all word of mouth.
Yeah, it was just word of mouth. Like and honestly you had to be lucky. Like who knows what other really, really good people were out there that just didn't have that opportunity because their network was small or whatever. And now like it shifted, I feel like in the early 2000s, maybe like 2005 to 2015. It was like you could post a YouTube video you sing like Justin Bieber style.
Exactly.
And then someone would discover you. Get discovered. And then you all of a sudden be this celebrity. Like it kind of went through that phase. And now it's like there are so many good artists, musicians, DJs, producers, everything. But there's also you have the ability to put yourself at the top and put yourself on the map. Whereas like before it was more just
it's
like luck and money or something.
Yeah.
And now it's like, no, can you build a brand that people want to be around? And like it's such a massive shift. I think people are struggling with
People are struggling with it. I think that we're kind of in a, I don't know, we've been over the last, I think since COVID.
Yeah.
We've really been in kind of a turning point of it all where it's like you can choose to jump on it or not.
Yeah.
And if you choose not to jump on it, that's fine. But if you want to keep getting bookings, you need to be really good at other things. Like have like really amazing connections or live in Ibiza or like, you know, something insane.
Or Australia.
Or like
why
you
are
have
they
to
all
live in
from
big
Australia?
cities. Literally. All the coolest cities are from Australia.
But okay, so my question for you is like if you're not going to use social media to do it, like what should you plan on? Just it being hard or
it's going to be hard. And like, here's the thing. It's hard no matter what.
It's true.
On social media, it's also hard, but it's a different kind of hard. And I think for a lot of people, the social media side of things comes easy or it's really challenging. And I think that that's kind of what makes the difference for people. But if you're not going to go the social media route, you need to be building connections. Like, I'm not really that old, but considering that I'm only 26 and I've been in the like rave scene for 11 years, like that's a really long time.
That is
building
a really
connections,
long time.
right? So I've been meeting talent bookers. I've been meeting like the club owners. I've been meeting the people who are running the festivals, and I've been hanging out with them for years and years and years.
Yeah.
So that, along with all my social media stuff, goes really far.
It's like helping.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Okay, so you probably know about Sandra. Is that her name? Sandra? I don't know. She's like Alex Earl's like enemy or something.
Oh.
I don't really know. I don't really know. I don't know the whole story.
Okay.
But basically, I wonder how you feel about this. So she blew up on TikTok, kind of alongside Alex Earl while they were still in college at U Miami. I followed both of them. She didn't really post anything about like DJing, but like supposedly she had been DJing all through college, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She never posted about it on TikTok. She graduated and then somehow, no shame, this is awesome for her, but I am sus on how it happened, got booked to go to Ibiza, however the fuck you say it, with Kygo. So then she immediately like popped off. Now she's playing like Lollapalooza, like all like she played like an offshoot of Coachella. You know how on Coachella they have like other things going on. She played like something like that, and all these things. And I'm watching her, and it's hard for me because I see how hard my fiance works, and I'm like, he is so talented that I'm like, wait, how did she just do that? Like, who does she know? Is it money? Like, what are your thoughts? Do people sometimes sneak to the top when you're like, maybe there's other people that should be where you are?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
So
okay.
there's another name for this. It's there. She's an influencer DJ.
Yeah.
There's social media DJs. Like the kids who are making mashups on TikTok, and they've been making videos for a long time. But like they're not playing real life shows. They're just doing stuff on social media. She's an influencer DJ.
Okay.
They literally are not DJs, and then all of a sudden they are, and they're playing massive clubs around the world.
And like,
they're playing all the shows that we want to be playing.
Exactly.
And they literally pop out of nowhere. They have agents, they have managers, they have a whole team. All of a sudden they have merch. Like it's like the Hawk 12 girl. Same kind of story, right?
Yeah.
Like someone sees them and they're like, you'd be so good at this. Or they're like, they have these connections. They're like, I have this idea. I want to do this. Someone teaches them to DJ. And like, I hate to say this because I'm like, it's not about her being a girl. It's not about like any of this, but it's like, is she actually DJing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like, I think that she maybe is. But my thing that I struggle with, and like, this is probably like a scarcity thing I'm dealing with and should work through that. But it's like, you just see other people that feel like they deserve it. Don't cancel me for that.
I don't even think that's a cancel
or something. Like, it's like, well, that's crazy. It feels like it was handed to you. And I don't know everything, so maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But I think it's just interesting. And that just also shows like the power of social media. It's just like, okay, well, you can literally do anything. If you build yourself a personal brand, congratulations, you can do whatever you want.
You can literally do whatever you want. Like you can run for candidacy for whatever, like the government, you know? Like if you have a really big social media, not just a following, but people who are engaged with you.
Yeah.
And
I
you have an agent and a manager, you can do literally anything. And this is the exact reason why this is such a controversial topic, like in the music scene. Yeah. Is because there are people who really deserve it who maybe aren't on social media.
Like they're just bad on Instagram.
Exactly. Or they don't understand it. Or like as musicians, there's like not a lot of money until you're really like playing hard stuff.
That was gonna be my question for you too. Is like, have you been able to like get shows and bookings off of social media that have actually made you money? Like, so crazy.
It's crazy, and it is like there's so many things I can attribute it to, but I know I'm good at social media, and I know I don't like so much love to all my other local artist friends. I have so many here, but like I know I'm one of the best at social media in the local scene, and I also do my best to help everybody with it. Like one of my friends texted me this morning. He's like, "I need your help with social media." I got you, King, because like especially in a local scene, we can all grow in it together.
Yeah.
But anyway,
there's totally room for everyone. But like, okay, so what would you tell someone when they text you and say, "We don't have social media"? What do you say?
I think he has a specific question. He hasn't asked me yet. But in this case, I think it's like I would do a similar social media audit to what I would have done in an agency, right? Yeah. So I look at not just like their Instagram, because that's what I'm the best at. I think that's what I understand the most. Yeah. But I'm like, okay, if you're not good at Instagram, are you good at another app?
Yeah.
And if so, show me that. Just one of them make more sense to you than another, and I would say just start on that one, whatever it is. Okay. Because some people don't understand the social media thing, but they've been streaming on Twitch. And like streaming DJ stuff on Twitch. And although there's so much money in that.
I was just like, you just made me remember that Twitch exists.
Right?
And I'm like, oh yeah. And then people take those Twitches and they make them into YouTube videos and then they make more money.
And then you're monetizing that, which I mean, I'm kind of just getting into posting on YouTube myself. Yeah. And it's so confusing to me because like as a DJ, you're playing other people's music. You get flagged for everything. So I'm like, how are we monetizing anything on YouTube if we can't like
play this song?
Yeah. Like you can only play so much of your own music. Anyway, let's get back to it.
Circle back.
Let's circle back. I think that I would tell someone to focus on one platform and just like stay there for a while. Personally, for me, and I think like at least looking at my friends and knowing the local scene and the clubs and talent buyers and everything here, people are looking at Instagram the most.
Okay,
Because
that's so good to know.
a lot of them are older than me per se, so they don't understand TikTok.
Also, I feel like Instagram's more of a localized. It's easier to grow local things on Instagram. I think on TikTok, you can't control as much on TikTok if Salt Lake City
It's
or
so
Denver or LA is seeing it. It kind of
So
just
true.
goes like everywhere.
Everywhere.
So I think that's also why Instagram is useful for like more local things.
Yeah, and personally, I use Instagram as my website. Like,
Yeah.
like as a DJ, until you're really, really, really big, as an artist, producer, whatever, you're not gonna have a website or need one, you know. So Instagram is my website. Like, that's my landing page where someone can find me and they can find literally everything about me.
Yeah.
Links to every other social media platform, links to my SoundCloud, which have all my previous mixes and my music that's coming out, and then it'll link them to Spotify, it'll link them to, like, I can't even like think of all the things.
Just everything. Next show is coming up.
I have a highlight with all my upcoming shows that are like within the next few weeks. And then I have highlights of all the past shows that I played. Like, any content that would have been on my story is now in a highlight there. So they can be like, oh, I know this artist like you. That's similar to the show we're booking, so let's look at that.
That's so smart. So like that's actually like a low-key way good strategy she just gave you is to like use other artists' names to get your stuff seen and booked. I've seen there's some like kind of silly ways people have used that on Instagram. I've seen before where people are like, if you love Rufus Du Sol and XYZ, they had a baby, then you love my music.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, okay, I wouldn't post that, but like, get it? Because truly, like, that's helping in so many ways. Like, it's SEO. Like, anyone who is searching Rufus Du Sol, that content is going to be shown to them, which is like, well, great. Now you can double dip into their market, which is like what you want.
Exactly.
And also, it gives people a really good idea of what type of music you're creating to see if that's their flavor or not. Yeah, I think you have like really good points here as far as like what you should have on your highlights, what you should have on your Instagram. Are there any other things, like what types of content are working well for like getting reach or views or engagement?
I think that it's different for everyone, and like I think that there's also different types of DJs too.
Yeah.
And like it really depends on your journey. So I would call myself a club DJ.
Yeah.
I want to play in clubs, I want to play festivals, and I want to play like 1 hour sets, and I also love like playing support for other big artists and that kind of thing. I'm not playing events, I'm not playing weddings, I'm not playing that kind of thing. But those DJs also, they make way more money than I do. They make so much money.
So lucrative.
It's insane. So go off to the wedding DJs. All my wedding DJ friends, they're killing it. But they have kind of like their own journey with that, and the content that works well for them as well there. And I think that there's lots of DJs in between.
Yeah.
And styles of DJs. But that being said, I think that for club DJs, the content that works the best on Instagram is high quality show content.
Yeah.
And also like GoPro content while you're recording, more like a 360 style set, just where there's people behind you.
Yeah, like I feel like you need to see the energy behind it in order to get the full like view. So you need to see like what are the people doing? Like what's your like stage presence? What's all of that? So then that's making me think like your Instagram, are you mainly growing to find other talent agencies, like other managers, other venues, other things going on? Are you trying to find them on social media, or are you trying to find an audience that wants to hear your music? Because I feel like what can happen is you just attract other producers, other DJs.
Yeah,
other artists.
I think that is like something that a lot of artists and DJs and producers are like struggle with when they're like starting to post on social media. Because in the beginning, it was definitely all DJs who were following me.
Yeah.
But for me personally, the more I played shows and like met people in real life, then I started to grow an audience online of like real life people who would come.
Yeah, they kind of support each other.
Yeah,
for sure.
But that being said, I think it's kind of all encompassing.
Yeah.
Because it all helps, like, it helps me on my, like, real goal of getting really big bookings playing in big clubs.
So you're like, I don't really care. I would love to attract like an audience that just loves my music, but I'd also love to just attract like other venues, talent.
Yeah.
What are they called? Like talent buyers,
Yeah.
managers, stuff like that.
I think so. For me personally, my target audience on Instagram, I'm speaking to like fans per se. That's like who I'm making the content for. But I want my Instagram page to be really easy and like beautiful and sexy and attractive to talent buyers who come across me.
Which like talent buyers want you to be appealing to the audience because that's how they make money.
Exactly.
When you sell out those shows.
Yeah. So. And I think that being said, something that people were literally fighting with me on Threads about is like, they're like, it doesn't show anything about you as a DJ, like you being on Instagram, right? Like, shut up.
You have to show that people are gonna come to your set.
I can show everything.
Yeah.
In my content, I can show my music taste. I can show my stage presence. I can show my mixing skills. I can show what my audience is like. I can show how many people show up for me.
Yeah.
I can show my visuals. I can show like the size of the clubs I'm playing. I can show literally everything in content. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, these are all old people that are like fighting with me. I'm like, you'll figure it out.
You just don't get it because like you're not 26.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I used to pass out CDs, and I love that worked for you, but that's not the case anymore.
Yeah, like if we could go back, we might.
I would love to do that.
That's just not how it works anymore. So what are there any other platforms you want to touch on, or you feel like you could help people with?
Absolutely. I think for DJs and producers and artists, I think the main 2 platforms right now are Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
One of them is going to feel better to you and make more sense for you. Personally, I haven't figured out the TikTok content.
Yeah.
I know the app and I know the app well, but I don't know if I have the personality for the TikTok content yet.
It's way scrappier.
It's scrappier, and it's like, it feels younger. Like, I feel like I'm a year too old.
I think you have to just like be really good at like memes or like making yourself into a meme.
Or like get ready with me type shit. Like I wish I could tell you how many videos I've recorded on my phone meant for TikTok, but then it's the editing.
No, that's literally me.
I don't want to do.
I'm just like,
and then
I can't.
I'll get to it literally one day. So anyway, but I think for a lot of people that comes a lot easier than the really like pretty high quality, higher budget content that I am creating. Which, by the way, it's so worth it making that investment as an artist. But I think that so many of my friends are so funny, and they record the funniest videos, and like they can tell the funniest stories, and they can just do like day in the life stuff, and it would work really well on TikTok. But there's also YouTube. If you are the type of person who loves filming like full mixes, like an hour-long mix, and you can do it in a pretty location, or you can even just record the mix and like put it over some visuals. Like people have been doing that for 100 years since YouTube was invented. And that works really well. And I have a ton of friends who are also really good at that. And then if you are the type to understand how streaming on Twitch works, that works so well. And there's so much money in that. Like, you don't make money on TikTok and Instagram.
No.
You make money from opportunities that come from that.
Yeah.
But on Twitch, you literally are making money from the platform. It's wild.
I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to watch me work all day?
Literally. I just saw a video yesterday of Madison Beer streaming playing like a dress up game. And I'm like, I love the time that we live in.
Why?
Like, it's crazy. So anyway, I'm going to stream myself playing a dress up.
Okay, sounds good. Catch me on Twitch.
Catch me on Twitch. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so basically the basis is find what works for you. So you might have to test out some platforms, test out some different content styles. It's the same thing I tell my clients. I'm like, you have to just figure out what kind you like to make and then what kind matches up with what your audience likes to consume. And once you figure that out, you're good. So you'll probably just have to play around and then figure out what you like and then just stick with it.
It's true.
Stick with it. Don't quit.
Don't quit. It gets easier. The more you do it, I just tell everybody I know, like, the more you do it, the easier it feels, and then you find your style, and then it feels like second nature. Like
Yeah.
you won't have to think about
You're
it.
just like, oh, I'm ready to post. Like it's not anything that takes any extra energy from your day.
The
It's
thing
so
I
true.
hate the most is like getting ready and like
Me too.
like I have to like get glam to like
I just want to raw. That are you guys okay with that? No, I love that. Okay, so then on the flip side of that, what do you feel like people are doing wrong when it comes to marketing themselves on social media? She's like, let me
pull it.
I wrote it all down.
Okay. Number one is like not posting at all. Duh.
So number one, not posting.
Number one, non-posting. Why? Like, you just have to post. Like, I'm sorry, it's the time we live in. You gotta get used to it, and it's okay, and it'll be fine, and everything is good. And you can start slow. With
Yeah.
it. Because I think that's like you have to ease into figuring out.
People are like all or nothing, and they're like, I'm gonna post every single day, and then it doesn't work, and so
And
they're
I
like,
think they
they
get
quit.
scared.
And it's like, okay, just start slow and then build up as you feel better.
Yeah. Okay, number two, maybe they're sharing a little bit, but I think that they don't understand the platforms. So number one, maybe they're making the wrong type of content for Instagram. They're putting TikTok content on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, the app doesn't like that. Two, people are not going to pick up on it.
They go to certain places for certain kinds of content, and if you're not aligning with that, they just will scroll past it.
Exactly. And also, there's so many people on Instagram who still haven't made it to TikTok because they just can't understand the app.
Yeah.
And they want the Instagram style content,
Yeah.
So I think that you have to be thinking about your audience on that platform, and you also need to be thinking about the platform and the algorithm itself.
And it's one thing that's so super easy. If you are confused about that and you're like, but I don't know, literally just go look at your competitors and just take your little comparison goggles off and just go look at their pages.
Mhm.
What does their content look like? What kind of style? Is it really high production content, high budget content? Is it silly content? Is it get ready with me? What style of content is it? Because then you can just do that.
Yeah.
You can just say, oh, I need to hire a videographer to come get content of me playing this show.
Exactly.
That it makes it so you don't have to guess. Other people have gone before you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to reinvent it. You can just go see what it is and then put your own little flair on it.
Exactly. And I think in our world, competitors almost isn't even the right word. You can just look at artists who are bigger than you.
Yeah.
Artists who you look up to, artists who you love listening to, you love everything they do, you want to see them play live. What are they doing that you are attracted to that you can kind of replicate in your own way?
Yeah, you're not copying them. You're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
It would be impossible.
It would be impossible
to copy them because you're you and you're making the content about you. So you don't have to worry about that.
You don't have to worry about that. Number three, they don't have a brand at all. There's nothing people can resonate with besides the person themselves. And it's if you are maybe a Nepo baby, that could work. Or if you
just make that your brand.
Your brand is just a Nepo baby, that's fine. But people need a little bit more than just the human to resonate with. Your close homies, they know you and they know the things you like, and they know the way that you talk, and they know that your favorite color is pink, and all of this kind of stuff. They know how you dress and all that. But if you're not giving more people that information who don't know you yet, they don't have anything else to grasp onto besides
nothing to connect with.
You and the music. Yeah, and it's you have to be really making good content to show off your music style or you performing or something, but give them a little extra to see why you're different from everybody else,
So what elements do you think that would be? Do you think taking people if you're working your full-time job still, is it chill to be what I do after work as a producer?
Totally.
I think that kind of content works. What else makes a brand it's not just a logo, although you probably should have that.
You should have that.
But it's deeper than that. What do you do on the weekends? What are your interests outside of being a DJ? Who are you?
I think you can think about it in the way that you're building a personal brand.
Mhm.
And I think like there's not a ton of really big artists who are making content like that shows like the behind the scenes of their lives. And
Yeah.
especially because like the big artists we like are only doing the music stuff, you know.
Like, this is the behind
Of
the
course,
scenes.
they're still regular people and they still have lives, but they don't have a day job, you know,
Yeah.
because they're doing the thing that we want to be doing. So
Yeah.
I think you can think about kind of more like influencer style content. Like
Yeah.
people, we're in the age now where also personal brands are taking a dip. People want to know like more about your community, like more about just like the behind the scenes of everything,
Yeah.
the other people you're involved with, or like the music scene that you're in,
Yeah.
or like the clubs that you go to. What can you show people outside of just you and the music that is gonna keep them involved more, or like asking questions? I think
Mhm.
especially on TikTok and now Instagram, where you can like reply to a comment with a
Mhm.
video. I think that is almost one of the most genius marketing tactics when it comes to content. If you can make one interesting talking video where you're kind of leaving people on the edge, like imagine telling someone, talking in a 10-minute TikTok video about like your past week, filling them in on all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But you can't possibly touch on everything.
No.
People are going to ask questions in comments,
Mhm.
and then you answer every single one of those comments, and it just keeps going.
Yeah, I've seen people use that as a strategy to grow,
Mhm.
where they just like make almost a little bit clickbaity, but it's not really clickbait. It's just there's holes in the information they're giving that they know people care about,
Mhm.
and they're purposefully leaving out. And then people leave comments, and then they respond to those comments,
And the app loves
that's how
it.
they grow. Yeah,
the
I've
apps
totally
love
seen
it.
that, especially on TikTok. I see that.
Especially on TikTok. And I
Mhm.
think in our world, in the music world, people want to know like
They do ask
everything.
questions.
Yeah, there's so much stuff that like the average Joe doesn't know about the music world. Like the fact that people who aren't in it call everybody DJs, and it's like a DJ is someone who's mixing music together,
Yeah.
and a producer is someone who's making music from scratch.
Yeah,
So-
I've been in the music industry like adjacently for like 8 years,
Mhm.
and it's so funny. Like everyone you meet just has like an opinion on that,
It's just
and then you meet just like everyone else, and they're just like, oh yeah, like a DJ, and I'm like people will call it Dom Dalla and John Summit DJs, and
Yeah.
I'm like, well, they're actually not DJs.
They're like DJ producers.
Yeah, I'm like, they're actually not, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
It's okay. And you just like we just don't talk about it. Like you just smile at it.
We're just like,
It's true.
I'm sure there's so many things I don't know too, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I think to go along with that, to circle back to the brand, a logo is important. You should have that, especially if you are playing live shows. Like
Yeah, you have to put it on the
your logo's gotta
posters
be on
and
the
stuff.
flyers.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like for me personally, I come from a branding background. Like I'm a
Mhm.
graphic designer and I do branding for people, but I love having brand colors. I love having brand fonts. Like that stuff goes so far for me. And I also think that it's important for me at least to bring in other elements of stuff that I like.
Yeah.
Like I just had visuals created for my DOS set.
Mhm.
Also the guy did it in like 3 days.
They were so iconic. I witnessed it. I thought they were so on brand. Really.
Cute.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's exactly what I wanted. And I love like florals, and everything I do is like pink and blue and purple, so
Yeah.
we brought all of that in really well. But I also love like space stuff. Also my previous DJ name was Supernova. She died. She's dead now. Unfortunately.
Makes you
But
rest in peace.
everyone said it was a gimmicky because it was like too spacey. So you can't
Yeah.
take the branding too far, I guess.
I liked it, but okay. Rude. What does that say about me?
Nothing.
Oh my god, I liked it.
We're just cute. It
Whatever.
just means we're cute. Anyway, so I think that there's so much that comes with like creating a brand
Yeah.
that you can pull pieces of like stuff you love, or you can just show more about your life and like the behind the scenes, and like just as much of yourself that you can show to people
Yeah.
is better.
Yeah. It's just like, it's so uncomplicated when all you do is just take one step back and think about the content you like to consume, and then just reverse engineer that into whatever it is you want to do. If that's growing your business, great. If it's becoming a DJ producer, that's great. Like all you really need to do is be like, what content is engaging?
Mm-hmm.
And then you just apply that to you.
Yeah. And there's so much. There's so much you
Yeah.
can do with it.
I really love behind the scenes content right now. I'm
Same.
like, wait, what do you do?
Like
Every
vlog
day, every
style.
second of the day, like I really am curious. And I think that's natural, like as humans, we just want to know, like it's low-key like a weird voyeur thing. Obviously not creepy like that, but like we
It's
want
true.
to know what's up in people's like lives. We're just curious.
Exactly.
So-
Especially if you like love someone as an artist and like you love their music or whatever. It's just so cool to see what they do in their real life.
Yeah.
Like what are all the things that make you that make it so you can do this?
Yeah, there's so many artists that I love to follow just for that. Like they're on planes and their luggage is getting lost and their life is so different from mine. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, wow.
Literally.
I've been just working at my laptop all day and you flew across the country 4
3 times. I love it. Someone actually who's really good at it. It's if you're like a small artist, you're not gonna be able to do it on this level. But Diplo is so good at it. You have to think
He has a team.
He has a team. He has so many people creating this content. He's not filming anything
No.
on his own phone.
Or editing.
Or editing,
posting.
doing literally anything. But like the style of it, I think you can kind of look at his stuff and like get an idea of how to make that stuff. Like,
I agree.
or Dylan Francis is also good at. He's a little bit funnier too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His are like high production.
Yeah.
Like low key, they're actually so high production. Like a lot of work went into them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. Okay, is there anything else
I
that you
have
want
2 more.
add? Okay.
Okay, number 4, people aren't utilizing the apps to their fullest capability.
Yeah.
And they're not cross promoting. I think
Yeah.
on Instagram, a good example of this is like your bio is the easiest place for people to understand who you are, understand what you do, what kind of music you play, and how to book you.
Yeah.
All of that should be in
So
your
easy.
bio. It's not hard at all. So number 1, check that box. Number 2, your highlights are so useful.
I'll never shut up about
I'll
highlights.
never shut up about it. It's insane how useful they are. And you can utilize them in so many different ways. For me, I put like all my past show content on there because I think that people like to see that.
Yeah, like people love to say like your stories only last 24 hours. Well, only if you don't add them to a highlight.
Duh.
Because like for me and my clients, I'm always like, no, you should absolutely be using your highlights to sell your offers 24/7. And like I get like new leads, new clients, new everything on a daily or weekly basis just because like my highlights they're showing what I do and how I do it. It's so easy
Exactly.
to convert someone there. And it's the same thing for you and like any other artist where it's like, yeah, show that you played for Le Youth. Like
Yeah,
in your highlights, that's immediate social proof. Like,
exactly.
why would you not say that to a highlight?
It's so funny. It's so funny how easy it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like when it comes to cross promoting, your link in bio, what are we doing? Like so many people don't have a link tree.
Yeah.
And I don't understand.
And like you don't even need a link tree anymore. You can create links in Instagram.
In
Like you can
Instagram.
create 6 links. Like
exactly.
I don't even need any software if you don't understand it or it's too
Exactly.
crazy. But if you're a DJ, you can do technology.
You should have a link tree. It's really, really easy. Like in your link in bio, I want links to all of your social media platforms, every single one. YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, SoundCloud, Snapchat, if you're like one of those people. Literally everything. And then I want links to every music platform. I want links to your latest track. I want a link to your latest mix or your favorite mixes or a festival that you played or like any links to like PR. Like I have been in some articles recently. It's just cool for people to see. You know what I
it
want?
just gives you social proof.
Exactly.
That it's just like I'm legit.
I'm legit.
It's just saying I'm legit, and that's all you need.
Yes, and I think that is such a like that. We gotta put that somewhere because that saying it shows that you're legit, which is the reason why social media is important. Like proving to people that you are. It's why it's controversial.
Yeah.
Someone's like, if you're a social media DJ, you're not a legit DJ. But it's like, no, I'm utilizing it to show that I am a legit DJ.
Yeah.
And that I actually have a massive resume.
It's the same thing you do anytime you're trying to do anything. If you're trying to find a restaurant, you're going to look at their Instagram and see if they're legit. If you're going to hire a cleaner, you're going to go to their business account and see if they posted in the last 12 months. Because maybe if they haven't, you think they're dead. Like, it's just social proof, and you do it with everything. So, like, why would you not think people are doing that to you?
Exactly.
Like, they're just checking that you're legit.
And it, like, I'm running a business here
Yeah.
too. So you want to treat it that way. And to add to that, like, I have a personal Instagram and my DJ Instagram. I don't think that that's necessary at all. I think actually if I went back, I would have probably just kept my personal Instagram and just let that turn into it. But I think that whichever route you go, like, you're treating it as a business now at that point. And then you can have a close friends account, close friends story where you
and honestly
post your shit.
If they're not your friend, they'll tell you by unfollowing you.
Exactly. And bye.
Bye. Don't come to my show.
Yeah, they weren't gonna come anyway. So.
Okay, what's your last one?
My last one is they don't know their audience nor connect with their audience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you don't know who you're speaking to on any social media platform, this goes for any business, whatever you're doing on social. If you don't know who you're talking to no one. And then your content is literally always going to miss. Yeah. It's not going to hit anybody. No one's going to resonate with anything you say or do ever. Yeah. No one's going to show up to your stuff. Nobody's going to like anything you do. Mm-hmm. And I think that, like, you're talking to people online like you talk to your friends in real life. Like, not just, like, their fans. Yeah. It feels weird for me to even say that word out loud. Like, everybody I've met at shows that comes to my stuff, like, they're really my homies. Yeah. And, like, I start to build relationships with all these people, and that's who I'm talking to.
Mm-hmm. You're just talking to your friends. Like, it's okay. Take the pressure off of yourself and, like, talk to your friends. I think where people get mixed up as an artist is they're like, my mom follows me, my blah, blah, blah. Like, they get, like, weird and in their head, and it's like, I don't know, if that's holding you back, block them. Mm-hmm. And also, like, you're not talking to them.
Exactly.
They're not paying your bills.
Exactly.
So, sorry.
And I think other people also get scared about, like, other artists and DJs following them and, like, judging their content.
I think that's a huge one. Yeah.
It's hard. And a lot of my friends have actually, like, struggled with it. But I'm like, that's not who you're making content for. And no matter what business you're in, you're making content for people who are like a level below you.
If they don't like your content, okay.
Who really cares?
Like, what are they gonna do? Tell the booking agent that they don't like your content?
That you're like a weird social media, like, who cares?
Okay. Big deal. No one's gonna do that's not gonna hurt your career. What will hurt your career is literally hiding away, not doing it.
Yeah. Because it's the only way for people to discover you who don't have any other way of discovering you.
Like a personal connection with you, Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. Wow, that's real good. We have a couple more questions, then we'll wrap up. But why do you feel like it's so hard for DJs and producers and artists to get people to actually, like, listen to the music off of Instagram?
This question is so crazy because I think, well, number one, I'm new to producing my own music. I was a DJ first, and now I'm getting into production. Mm-hmm. My first song is actually coming out this Friday.
Oh yeah, we need to talk about that. It'll be out already by the time this comes out, but we'll make sure to link it.
Yeah,
I'm so you guys gotta listen to it.
Please listen to it. If you're not gonna listen from Instagram, please listen to it. Anyway, so I'm excited about that. But because I'm new to creating my own music, I think that it's not something I have a ton of experience with yet. Yeah. But thinking about, like, my friends and other stuff, it does seem hard, and I actually think that the apps, like, don't. Okay, here's what just happened. I just posted about my new track that's coming out, right? And typically when I'm posting, I try to make sure, like, the first thing in a carousel or the first thing people see is my face. Yeah. Because I know that works well. Yes. In this specific post, the first slide was, like, my album artwork. Yeah. And the audio of the track, and then the second slide was a video of me playing it live, and that's all it was. But and I know that something that doesn't show my face first is gonna hit a little bit less. Yeah. But I posted it, and within, like, and maybe it's something in the copy too, but within, like, 4 hours, I had 4 likes.
And I never saw it, and I always see your content.
Yeah. And so the next day, it got a lot more traction. Like, it's at, like, 200 likes now.
I've noticed also that with Instagram lately. My
Instagram's
post will literally be flopping, and I'm like, okay. And then I'll wake up the next day and it has double.
and it's okay.
reviews.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's super interesting. So the day that I posted it had been like an hour, and one of my other artist friends sent me a DM, and he was like, just so you know, Instagram has been like really flopping everybody's music announcement posts. And I was like, whoa, okay.
I feel like this makes
That's
sense.
interesting, because I was literally freaking out. I was like, everyone hates the song. Oh my god, I quit. Like, I'm done. I'm not making music. That's the last time I tried that. It was like, first one, it was literally so scary already. I got 4 likes. And so, anyway, I was unwell. And so it's just weird because within the first hour, I have 100 likes typically.
Yeah.
Like, my stuff gets pushed pretty far. So I was thinking at least 40. Anywho, I think a lot of people are struggling with it.
Yeah.
I think the algorithm doesn't like it. And I think I actually came to the conclusion that Instagram, because you're pushing something
off
tangible, yes, off the app and something tangible, I think that Instagram wants you to pay for promotion on it.
I've actually kind of had that same thought, and then I'm like, but people aren't gonna like. People don't like just listen to a stranger's music.
Exactly.
You know? So, like, I'm just like, if I got pushed an ad from an artist, like, I'm not going to listen to that song.
Yeah.
I have no reason to. And there's, like, a million other songs I would rather listen to. So it's interesting. And my family's had this problem. That's why I wanted to ask you. I'm like, why is it so hard? Like, we don't honestly really know. I think you have to get people to, like, fall in love with you first.
Yes.
To get them to listen to the song. But then, even beyond that, I don't really know. It's interesting too, because now you see really big artists creating music literally for the purpose of it being a soundbite on TikTok so that it can go viral. Like Sabrina Carpenter, they are very good and dialed at this. Charlie, XCX,
our queens.
So our queens, they're very good at this because they have a team behind them that knows.
Also, exactly why I made an espresso remix. Like,
because
for TikTok, duh.
100%, exactly. So it's just interesting to see like the marketing of the actual song, not just the artist and the brand. Because they're kind of different. Like, you can build your social presence and get shows and get bookings, but it's like to get some of those into your music, I feel like is a whole other beast. So
it's true.
We'll probably have to do a whole episode on that
once I figure it out. I think you can get creative with content. Like, don't only try to push the song. Like, get creative with the way you're showing it to people, and like be more subliminal with the way you're asking them to listen to it. And maybe the app won't figure out that you're trying to ask people.
Get your friends to use the audio on all of their reels.
Pretty much. Also, I made 2 extra TikTok accounts where I was doing that with my own audios, like to see if it works, and also resharing all my own videos.
So smart. Like I am the algorithm. Actually.
I'm God. So exactly.
Oh, that's so good. Well, I loved having you on the podcast. This has been so fun. I just always like to ask this question at the end, but if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
I think that it would be, my mom has always told me that like you can literally do anything you set your mind to. Both my parents have always said that to me, and it's so true. When you get older, it's like, holy shit, they were so right. You can literally do anything. And also, life just gets like so much more fun the older you get. Fun and easy and hard at the same time, and magical.
No, I love that. That's like a really fun response. I've never had anyone respond that way, and I completely agree with you. Like, you can literally do whatever you want. It's psychotic. You're like a master manifester, obviously. And my parents did that too. Like, my mom was always just like, no, you can literally have whatever you want. And I was like, oh,
you don't know the monster you're creating.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean? Now I want everything, and I can't stop working. So totally with you on that. And like, it does get more fun. I know. So it really does. Like, I mean, fiance and I talk about this a lot. Like, when you're 16, it's just like, it's so painful because you're like, I want to be my own person, but I can't be.
And also, you have no idea who you are.
No, like, you don't know. Like, it's just so like irritating. Literally. And then as you get older, like, you get money and like you can then do the experiences that you want, and like you start to figure out who you are and like really just become like honestly whoever you want to be.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
It's so cool.
It's
You
so
kind of
fun.
just blossom into yourself, and then you attract like more of the things that you like and more of the people who will like you.
Yeah.
And it's just
It's
magical.
so real. I love it. Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun.
Okay, bye guys. See you next week. First, I want to say thank you so much for being here and listening to my podcast. It means the world to me, and I just appreciate this community more than you could ever know. If you love this episode or a previous episode that you've listened to, go ahead and head to the leave a review link in the show notes and leave us a review. We would really appreciate it. And we're so glad that you're here. Thank you.